Hey guys, thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about long-term price movements in Nano. If you guys like this content, please subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on and like the video, and check out my Telegram and Discord channels in the description below. So I'm still trying to get over this sickness that I have, but let's go ahead and jump in. So with Nano, I've often talked about similarities that it has with Bitcoin, and I think that remains true to this day. One of the things we talk about is the 20-week moving average for Bitcoin. Now, here you can see the 20-week moving average in a bull market. Bitcoin holds that 20-week moving average as support. Every correction comes down to that 20-week, at least historically. And in a bear market, it holds it as resistance. And then here you can see back in 2019, when we got above that 20-week moving average, Bitcoin really took off, and that was what led to a lot of healthy sentiment into the altcoin market. So if Bitcoin is not above the 20-week, then I'm typically more bearish on other coins. Let's say more of an accumulation phase, depending on where we are in the market cycle. I mean, if we're after a 2 or 3 year bear or bull run and we break the 20-week, I mean, I think it's just time to get out. This is not financial advice, by the way. But if we're just below the 20-week after a long bear market, then historically this is just a good time to accumulate. And so you can see that when Bitcoin had this breakout above the 20-week, it went up around 4x or so, and that's when also a lot of altcoins did really well. Now, once we tested that 20-week moving average with Bitcoin, that's when we fell from $10,000 down to $8,000, and this is where a lot of coins, like Nano, also saw significant losses. So I do still think that Bitcoin emulates, or I should say that Nano emulates Bitcoin. You can see in a similar way that Bitcoin holds that 20-week moving average as support, and holds it as resistance during a bear market, support during a bull. Nano also holds that 20-week moving average as support during a bull market, and then it holds it as resistance during a bear. And again, similar to Bitcoin, once it broke above that 20-week moving average, it just popped up really quickly, and then once it broke it, it was bad. It was a sign for at least short-term movements down. Now, one of the things we talked about is this idea of the golden crosses and death crosses, and we've talked about how Nano has shown similarities to Bitcoin in the past. So if we scroll all the way back to 2015 and pull up let's say we want to look at the 50-day and the 200-day. So let's show this. So we're going to show the 50 and the 200, and we have this golden cross in July, and then a death cross in September, and then another golden cross in October. And this was ultimately what was the huge momentum shift with Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin ended up holding the 20-week moving average as support for the next 2 years or so. Now with Nano, we also talked about this idea of this golden cross, and then we had a death cross, and we were hoping that this move over here was going to be accompanied with another golden cross, and everything was looking good, and we talked about how if Bitcoin goes down, obviously Nano's going down, and there's no reason to think otherwise when we're in this part of the market cycle. And sure enough, if we look to see what Bitcoin did during this time, if we go all the way back over to where we were, so let's look to see what happened in Nano. So we went up, and then right here we dropped. So we dropped in November. And what happened in November? Well, if we go to November for Bitcoin, so let's go. So if going into October, it was doing quite well. Bitcoin was, and then going into November, we were moving sideways, and then Bitcoin dropped from around $9,000 all the way down to even less than $7,000. And this was accompanied with a drop with Nano, and this wasn't really anything novel. I mean, this was as soon as Bitcoin dropped, it's fairly obvious that the rest of the altcoin market is going to drop as well. At least historically, that is how it usually behaves, and I don't claim to provide any great insight there. I mean, most people know that. But one of the things, with Nano that I would like to point out is that, there still could be a golden cross looming in the not so distant future. If this recent price movement has really moved up quickly, and it it wouldn't take very long for us to print that golden cross and to maybe test in the same way that Bitcoin did back in 2015, where it wants to go. Now, Bitcoin, or Nano, I should say, again, held the 20-week moving average as support during a bull market, held it as resistance during a bear. Once we broke it, once we broke through it, Nano did really well for many months. And then once we came back down below the 20-week, we have done pretty poorly for several months. Now, most recently, one of the interesting things, let me move this, we can auto, is we've actually gone above it and we've completely cleared it. We're currently on this weekly candle of February 3rd, so we're going to be looking to, we haven't closed it fully yet. We're going to be looking to close this candle here, like we did back in March of 2019. And if we can continue to stay above that 20-week, just like Bitcoin, if we go back to the weekly, let's go back to the weekly and then show that 20-week. So as long as Bitcoin, Bitcoin's above the 20-week, Nano's above the 20-week, I still feel like they are emulating each other quite well if you look at just past price history. And this isn't necessarily only unique to Nano. There are other coins that are showing and exhibiting this type of behavior. But I do, Nano is one of the ones that I do hold, and it's one of the riskier coins, admittedly, that I hold. But it's feeless and it's instant. Yes, there's always things that could be improved with any project. But I don't think Nano is here to replace Bitcoin. I'm not under the delusion that Bitcoin is going away and Nano is going to replace it or anything like that. I think Bitcoin is digital gold, and there's still room in the market for other specific areas to be filled by cryptocurrency. Whether there's privacy coins, there's all sorts of different coins, and Nano, being feeless and instant, provides itself a unique, at least mostly unique part of the market. There are other coins that can claim similar type things, but Nano's been around for many years, and if you haven't sent Nano before, I would encourage you to do so. You can send it from one address to another in by the time you hit send on your phone, it's already arrived basically in the other account. So whenever I use it, it's a breath of fresh air because I'm used to working with transactions with, say, like Bitcoin, and that can take quite a long period of time. But with Nano, it's free, or it's feeless, it's instant. So everything you send is you receive. Whoever you're sending it to gets all of that transaction. They're not losing anything in the transaction process. So I think that's important. And I really do like the Nano community, and it's one of the ones I really do think is one of those ones that I'm hoping will do well in this next bull market. Now clearly there are its own intrinsic risks of investing in cryptocurrency in the first place, and Nano is obviously a riskier coin. But the people that bought, say, other coins like Ethereum or whatever it might be back in 2015, 2016, it wasn't necessarily obvious to everyone then that they should be buying Ethereum. And those who did, it turned out quite well. For instance, if you had bought Ethereum in November of 2015 and you had only bought $1,000 worth of Ethereum, you could have cashed that out for around 1.5 million, I believe, in 2018. So the people that buy in when coins or assets are in bear markets, while they have a lot of risk associated because there's no clear sign that it's ever going to recover. But they also have a huge potential upside if it does, because if it does, and if you're buying Nano at like, if you were able to get some, like say 60 cents or something, and one day it goes to, $60. I mean, it hit $38 in the last bull run. I mean, that's already a 100x on your investment. Now, I'm not saying Nano is going to get to that point, but as long as you're okay with that risk reward level, that just has to be something you decide. So, there is a certain percentage of my portfolio allocated to, altcoins, and Nano is one of them. And I will be continuing to make videos, for throughout the next several years on where Nano is headed, and if it's continuing to emulate Bitcoin, if we're gonna potentially go on this nice bull run similar to what Bitcoin did, or if it might look, it could look different, especially considering that ROIs from market cycle bottom for Bitcoin have been diminishing. So then we would expect the same thing for any altcoins. Now, I should also say, and I know I'm rambling here a bit, but I should also say that, as I know many people who watch my videos hold other coins as well. So, I would just urge people to really think about what coins they are buying, and don't just throw a dart at a board and pick whatever coins that it's landing on. I don't think a future bull run, if a future bull run with Bitcoin happens, it's not going to take every coin with it. And I think the cryptocurrency space is screaming for more utility. It's screaming for projects that aren't just trying to swindle people out of their money. So, pick projects wisely, whether it's Nano, whether it's something else. Pick them wisely, pick them for the right reasons, and not just because you see that they're up 10x in the last few days. That's a bad reason typically to invest in a coin. So I would just urge you to do your own research and to accept the risk involved in buying in these types of assets. I mean, they do have a lot of upside, but as many of you know, if you were buying Nano at $38, they also have a lot of downside associated with them. So we're going to be trying to identify, the next time something like this occurs, I'm hoping that people that are subscribed to my channel are going to be dollar cost averaging their sells out of an asset, and not just holding on for dear life and just saying it's going to $1 million or something. I mean, basically everyone here is wanting to make money, and we're wanting to better our financial situation for our family and whatnot. So let's try to be level-headed and focus on how we can use these long-term momentum shifts in the market, like the 20-week moving average, to our advantage. So I think I've rambled on long enough. I hope you guys like this content. Again, if you guys do like the content, please subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on, and check out Telegram in the description below if you guys would like to discuss these charts. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Bye.